how did you get good at morning workouts? Because that's a huge question a lot of people have. They face a similar situation you do where life doesn't allow them to train when they want to train, and they simply have to train early in the morning before the day starts.
Well, I mean, I think it got to the point where trying to ride in the afternoon, something would always happen. Something would come up that was more important than me riding my bike at that point in the day. Um, you know, my son gets sick and we got to go pick him up from daycare early, or, you know, a patient runs late, and it's just stuff, like life happens. Your wife asks you, can you go to the grocery store and pick this up for dinner? It's like, well, sorry, I got to ride my bike, is not always an acceptable answer.
Right. Yeah.
So it got to the point with riding, especially once we had our son, that it was just every day it was a struggle to get on in the afternoon. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get up and ride whenever nobody else is up. And just it did take a while to get used to. Um, but I'm more of a morning person anyway, so it wasn't that hard to get up. It's just the routine, getting in the routine and just making yourself do it. And I put I use my phone as my alarm clock, and I put it in the bathroom. So I have to physically get up and walk across the room to go turn it off. And that actually has been pretty huge for me, to like a big change that I've made in the last like 6 months, probably, that's actually got me up out of the bed, instead of being late to a workout or something like that.
What other protective mechanisms like that have you put in place to help yourself?
So I started making my own drink mix probably 2 months ago. So I make a whole batch of that for pretty much the whole week, either on Sunday or Monday. I make enough to last me the whole week. It's just maltodextrin and some like Morton's light salt. But I just have it in a huge pitcher in the refrigerator, and it's ready to go. I don't have to mix any bottles. I just pour it into a cup because the trainer's right there. Like, it's all ready. I typically either make like a big batch of oatmeal on Sunday or Monday again, or I'll do like some Bob's Red Mill muesli with yogurt or whatever. I'll just make a giant batch of it for the whole week. The thought of eating leftover food it's 5 days old doesn't really bother me, but also like breakfast food like that, I feel like doesn't really go bad per se in that time frame. So, I mean, yeah, if you're meal prepping like chicken for 6 or 7 days later, like, sure, it's not going to be appetizing, but that kind of stuff's getting mushy anyways. I try not to be picky. Like, I just get up and it's already made. Coffee's already ground. All I got to do is hit start or hit the AeroPress, and the coffee is the most time consuming thing in the morning. It takes 5 minutes.
What about the day before in terms of fueling? Once you started training earlier in the mornings, did you change how you ate with dinner or anything after that?
No, I mean, I think through the podcast, I picked up the book from Matt Fitzgerald, The Endurance Diet, and it really hit home for me. So I just eat a ton, just to be honest. Like, I just eat an obscene amount, and especially carbs, like brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat, pasta. Just give it all to me. Like, I'll take care of it. Yeah. I don't skip any meals. I'm never, like, if I start getting hungry, there's a problem, because it's going downhill in a hurry. Like, I got to get something to eat soon. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I drink like an extra electrolyte mix at night or anything like that. I just try to eat pretty well. And I do eat like my yogurt or in muesli or my oatmeal. I eat that before I get on the bike.
And how long is that? Like, spread out, like from the time you wake up to the time that you eat breakfast and then on the bike?
I wake up at 4:30, 4:45. I'm eating probably within 15 minutes, and then I'm on the bike 5:30, 5:45. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's just something that's never bothered me to eat that early in the morning. But then I also have, my drink mix is probably 90 grams of carbs. And
Mhm.
on a hard workout day, I'll have a full cup of that. And on a lighter day, I'll just mix half and half. So, I mean, I still have something while I'm on the bike, even though I've eaten a full meal. If
Mhm.
it's a really long workout, like, if we happen to do a 2-hour workout, I'll have some dried fruit or a Cliff Bar sitting there too.
Mm. This is so some key things that I'm picking up there is number one on the alarm thing, brilliant about making yourself get up and out of bed. That's really good.
Oh yeah, my wife hates it, but
Yeah,
it
that's
works.
your motivation. Yeah, you've got to turn it off fast or else you'll suffer the wrath, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
of your partner. You can't subject them to it.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to overcome that natural sloth that resides within us in the morning.
Mhm.
The other thing that you do is you make sure that you eat a lot all the time and you aren't trying to starve yourself. You're making sure that you're fueling yourself adequately. And then you fuel on the bike, even though you eat breakfast in the morning. And you give yourself somewhere around 30 to 60 minutes, probably depending on the day, before you're from the bed to the bike.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to roll directly onto the bike, like many people try to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I've never been like, just personally, anytime that I need to leave the house, I'm awake at least an hour early before that. That's
Mhm.
just what I've always done. So I just started waking up an hour before needed to ride because I need that time to get up and get mentally somewhat there.
Sure. Have you found that with time you've gotten better at tolerating particularly hard workouts in the morning? Has that adapted
Yeah.
over time?
Yeah. I would say the only thing that I really struggle with in the morning, like from a workout perspective, is testing.
Hmm.
And I just think that there's a difference between a really hard workout and a ramp test. And there just is. And I think that knowing that you're going to have to make yourself crack to get a good result, like not a good result, but like an accurate result,
Hmm.
is a hard thing to do at 5:45 in the morning. Um,
Yeah.
so I try to do those sometimes just on a Saturday during nap time or something like that. But
Hmm.
that's the only thing that I really struggle with, as far as intensity in the morning.
Yeah, I relate to that too. It's not the physical ability of a ramp test that's really tough. It's like the
Hmm.
mental ability. It's the ability of me to be able to coax all of my potential out,
Right.
so to speak. Like,
Yeah.
and as a result, like you won't catch me doing a ramp test on a Thursday when I have a podcast. You
Right.
know, we've done the Ask a Cycling Coach podcast. My brain is fried, and then going into that, it's like particularly tough times mentally or emotionally or anything else. They make it hard for me to test to my ability. So
Right.
I see it kind of similarly to like a really high fatigue day. I wouldn't take a
Hmm.
test if I'm super fatigued physically, and the same thing, mentally
Right.
or emotionally too with that.
Right.
What else is there anything else that you would want to share with somebody if they're struggling with early morning workouts? What would you tell them?
I mean, I think if you are truly a night owl, I think it's going to be really hard for you. But there's a lot of people that are somewhere in between, or just, early birds in general. Um, I think you just have to keep trying. I mean, there's
Mhm.
nothing else to it other than like get yourself out of the bed somehow and keep doing it. And the group workouts do help with that, I would
Mhm.
say, from a accountability perspective.
Mhm.
Um, I think
Yeah.
that really helps. I mean, but otherwise, yeah, I mean, we're shutting it down at this house at 8 o'clock in the
Yeah.
evening. I mean, my son goes to sleep, and it's who can get in the bed the fastest.
Yeah. 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 That's key
So
too. I mean, it's hard then. A lot of people are like, I just can't do my early morning workouts. It's really tough. I go to bed at 11 p.m. and I'm like, well,
no,
right there.
no,
Like
no,
yeah, that would be
not
so
a
hard to do, right?
chance. Not
Yeah.
a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get to bed early if you want to get up early. It's just how it works. I know it sounds
Mm,
simple, but we don't live by that all the time, right? So,
no, and it is hard to get asleep before 8:30 sometimes, but you just got to keep trying. I think you got to set yourself up for success as best you can. You know, as soon as I get home from work, I'm like doing laundry and cooking and stuff. Like we're not waiting until 7:30 at night to eat if we can help it. So,
mhm.
um, as much as can be done, as soon as that kid goes to sleep, I'm winding down.
If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.
If you think I have better hair than Jonathan, give it a thumbs up. If not, leave a comment.
My hair is better than his.